So I did a little bit of seam ripping. I had an active slash swim set that I loved, beautiful fabric, but I knew I could improve it with some extra pockets. Who doesn't want pockets on the activewear? A few extra seams. I mashed a little pattern in there, just creative sewing, and I really enjoyed it. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and I do have some limitless sewing to share with you. I've been using this phrase for many years since I started the channel, and it's basically just thinking outside the box, not just limiting yourself to what you can see in a pattern. There's so much more you can do. And so this is when things get really fun and really creative for me, and that's when I think sewing is actually limitless, because there's basically nothing you can't do. I had let you know a couple of days ago the new way that Love Notion is promoting little collections instead of just one pattern on sale for one Friday. And right now there's summer and swim collection. I already have an episode telling you all about the patterns, what they are. I have a specific page on my website, super easy to find, where you can click and see all the patterns and all the videos, because I've already made content about all of them. What I'm playing with today is the Clearwater Summer Essentials. This is swim or active wear, whatever you want to call it. You know, it just depends on what fabric you use and how you use it, because all of these patterns can be worn either for working out or for swimming. A dress, a tankini, both of these are finished with a shelf bra on the inside. There's little shorties with panels with pockets. There's swim briefs, standalone sports bra or swim top. So I made all of them. Really enjoyed this when the pattern came out, because I made everything. I made each of the views, and I have a full tutorial on how I did that. Now, one of the sets I made was using a really heavyweight, amazing quality, very good compression activewear material that I found in Brazil. It's the shorties with the tankini. Then tankini has the shelf bra on the inside. I decided to reinforce it with an extra layer of power mesh on the front. This shelf bra is great for if I want to wear it casually and just live my life, go out on a walk, on a bike, you know, like a workout session with weights, something like that, elliptical. It would be absolutely fine, but I can't really run in that. I would need more support for running, but it's still a really great little top. And the shorties, I initially thought I couldn't run with shorts that I made myself, and it's usually got to do with the seams that meet at the crotch area and the fact that I can't really do flat lock. I don't have a cover stitch. You know, my serger can just do the basic seams. But actually the Clearwater shorties have a really big gusset in the middle. It's a rectangle. So those seams that you have there are actually not in any sensitive area, at least for me and the way I feel with these seams. So I took my shorties out on a little run on their own just to test them out, to see if I could run in them, if they would ride up, if they would annoy me, the seams, you know. And I was super comfortable. So I thought I was going to improve that. So let me just show you part of the nitty-gritty of what I'm doing to improve these for running, because they are fine as they are, but they would be so much better for running, and I'd like to add something on there. I have a little bit of fabric left over that wouldn't be good for anything else. I'm going to mash another pattern that is in this collection, the Summer Basics. Some of that is going to be mashed onto here, so let's see. These are the Clearwater shorties I made back when the pattern was released, and I think I can use them for running. The reason is because of this gusset. So this gusset is quite long, and the way that this seam falls is towards the upper part of the leg and the posterior part of the leg. So this crotch area here, where it's the most sensitive area, there's actually no seams joining up. I've actually seen this feature in some of my technical running shorts, this wide gusset like this. So perfect feature. The Clearwater shorties I think would work okay for running. I tried these on. I had a little run around the neighborhood. They didn't ride up with this length and with this level of compression and thickness and weight of the fabric as well, which was my other query. Nothing worse than running and having these hike up. Nothing. They stayed in place. So I thought I could modify these to make them even better. I took out the waistband. That was easy. It was just serged on the top. So I've got it right here. And now I want to add a little skirt, because that would just make it so much better. The other thing is the Clearwater shorties do have a panel here with a pocket. Let's look at it for this side. Now, when I was doing this, I only sewed one pocket on this panel right here. So I just have one pocket. I'm silly because I should have sewn the other pocket as well. On this side, I don't have a pocket. Oh well. that's okay. Now, because I don't want to unstitch this whole panel, I have created a little pocket piece that I'm going to sew in as a patch pocket. So I just eyeballed this. This is going to fit between the panel. I'm going to fold the sides in by 3/8 of an inch, and I'm going to fold the top down by an inch. And I'm going to top stitch it in place with a zigzag stitch. The zigzag stitch is not the prettiest thing, but it's functional. It's going to allow the movement and the stretch because these are fitted. And then I'll have another pocket. I do carry things in my pockets when I'm running, so I really needed that second pocket. Let's look at the skirt. This is a skirt piece from the Summer Basics dress. So I'm going to use this. It's perfect. It's A-line. It's simple. I have very little fabric left of this green one, so I couldn't do anything much more elaborate with more details. I have folded away the seam allowance that you need for the back here because the back is 3/8 of an inch wider than the front, but that's for the dress. I'm not going to use that feature. I'm just going to use the front skirt piece for the front and the back for my running skirt. Then all I did was place my shorties here, sort of around where this is going to be sewn, and then my skirt is going to be about 1.5 inches longer. So knowing what length I wanted, which was 35 centimeters, I'll put that what's in inches. I just measured from the waist the same amount. You can see it's curved. So if I place this along a line, you can see the curve there that follows the same length there. And this is going to be my skirt piece. I'm going to cut it twice on the fold, and that's what I'm going to sew onto the little shorties on the top. I'm going to just baste it together first and then put back on the waistband, and I'm going to have an amazing little running skirt. I'm so excited about this. I love doing things like this. I'm so excited about this. I just love doing cute things like this. So here are my two skirt pieces. They were cut on the fold. They're exactly the same. They're going to be nice and short and cute. I'm going to sew the side seams, finish the hem on the skirt, and then just attach it to the top of the shorties here. Now the skirt on the top is going to be a little bit wider, but that's fine because I do need that ease for the hips and everything. I want it to be a little more voluminous than the shorties, obviously. So I'm going to have to stretch the waist a little bit to match the top of the skirt, but it's very minor. And then comes the waistband, and voila, I can't wait. Here I'm sewing on my patch pocket, which is not a common thing to do, but the zigzag is going to make it work. I'm doing a medium-sized zigzag, 3 stitch length, 3 width, and I think that's going to work well. Done, you can barely see it. You can't see the stitching. If this was a solid and I did a zigzag stitch and it was going to be visible, I would loathe that. But because it's very, very hidden, it's fine. So I'm going to put my small item in here. It's going to be tight against my body. The zigzag is going to allow it to stretch, and I'm not going to have popped stitches. Let me show you, because here you can really see what I did. On the corners, I reinforced. I went back and forth a little bit so that it's nice and firm, and there you have it. A quick little patch pocket without undoing my panel and redoing that all over again. Okay, there is my skirt. I slid the shorts in there. The shorts are right sides touching the wrong side of the skirt, obviously, and the top of the waistline matched almost. The skirt is a tiny little bit bigger, but if there's a small discrepancy with knits, it's absolutely fine. These shorties don't have a side seam. They have a side panel, so the middle of the panel is actually the side seam, and that's where I match the seams of the skirt. So I'm ready to just grab my waistband that I had from before, divide it in 4, do the same thing I always do. This is actually quite a lot smaller, so we need to stretch it a lot while we serge. And then the hem and the little skirt is done. From the get-go, I knew I was going to use my seam ripper and I had no issues with that. I'm not going to start crying about using the seam ripper, especially if it's something that, especially if it's going to be useful for me to improve what I've already got. And so seam ripping all that waistband off was fine. I was just watching a YouTube video and that's it, it was done in no time. And then I was able to create my little skirt and add it on. You saw that was super easy. And check out this little cute running skirt now. It's just so cute. Who's gonna have something like this? No one, just me. And it's snake and it's a beautiful tone of green. It's just lovely. So it's the same waistband that didn't change. I just have the little skirt on top and I use the pattern pieces from the Summer Basics dress. I haven't actually made the tank. I've only made the dresses because I like the dresses. And that skirt was just perfect for the length that I needed. It fit right into my fabric. I had a tiny little bit left over of the fabric and I was able to create this layer on the top. You see the fit is really comfortable. I have a tiny hem allowance because that's all I could do. And then on the inside, I have the shorts. On this side, I had the original pocket, the panel as it is in the pattern. But for some reason, I hadn't done it on the other side. But, these are super important for me. If I want to use them for running, I carry things while I run. And so now I have another pocket here that's just top stitched on as a patch pocket. And it's going to be firm to hold what I need. So let's see how this one looks, how this fits. Maybe you want to recreate something for yourself. It doesn't have to be for running. It could just be for casual walking, whatever you want to do that's active. It's just so great to mash these up together and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I had the fabric to do it. Check out this really catchy snake print skirt that I made mashing up the Clearwater shorties and the top part of the skirt from the Summer Basics dress. I actually had made the shorties when this pattern was released. I unstitched the waistband, added the skirt in between and it's perfect. I can actually run with these shorts. The material on these is excellent quality, very compressive, they don't ride up. And this is the perfect length for me that is not too short or not too long, keeps my legs fresh. I get really hot when I'm running. I'm going to hike up my shirt so you can see the wide waistband, how nice and fitted it is. Everything's fitting really nicely. I had the tiniest scrap left of this fabric, just enough for this skirt. So it's not like I could have done anything more elaborate. It's not going to give me extra weight and bulk as I do this. So making up this skirt was just the perfect thing. I had sewn one of the original pockets of the shorties when I sewed these, just on the right side. There's a panel with a pocket, very easy. But I hadn't done it on the other side, so I added a sneaky patch pocket there so I didn't have to unstitch everything. What do I carry in these pockets? I have these tiny soft flasks that carry about 5 liquid ounces or 150 mils each on each side or on each leg. I don't feel that they're there. And when I get thirsty, I have at least that minimum amount of fluid with me until I'm able to refill them. I don't have to run around carrying a water bottle in my hand because I can't deal with that. I'm so happy that this pattern works for running because of the big gusset that is in there. You know, your crotch area, you don't have all those seams intersecting at all. I can't wait to get out of the house and take this one on my next run. Excited to wear something cute, functional that I made myself. And I can just wear one piece on its own and it's got everything I need. So nice, love it. Now I had the matching tankini and I had been thinking about this for a long time actually, even before this summer and swim collection, appeared. I wanted to add a pocket to tankini at the back so I could carry things there. I know that these exist and are common because I used to do a lot of cycling when I was a triathlete and all my cycle tops had that pocket at the back. Some of my triathlon tops had them and I thought, I sew, why can't I just sew that on? It's not a common thing you're going to find in a pattern. And so let me show you just a little bit of seam ripping, some creative cutting there, just freestyle. This is the tankini of the Clearwater, the same green fabric I used for the skirt. I still have a random little piece of fabric left, that's all I have. And I think it's going to be super useful for me to add a pocket on the back panel. I can put items that fall around the waist, hip area. I think it's a really comfortable place to hold things instead of the front. Similar to what you see in some cycle tops and some triathlon tops, they have this pocket here where you can stash things. Perfect. So what I've done is unstitched my panels at the back. There are 2 notches there. That was my reference to start unstitching this panel. I undid the hem and all of that. That pin I have there is where I would like my pocket to start. As a reference, I put that pin when I tried this on. So I put this on first, put the pin, thought that's a nice place for the pocket to start. What I'm gonna do now is use this as a pattern piece to cut out a pocket. So let's just get the rest of the tankini out of the way and just have this piece there. I have the piece of fabric left over here and I'm gonna put it behind. Now I'm gonna make it taller on the top from that pin, at least an inch higher so I can fold it down. So I'm gonna scoot the fabric underneath a little bit more. Perfect, and it fits just perfect. I want that same shape because I'm gonna sandwich that panel in there. It's gonna be the same technique you use for the side panels of the shorties. It's just gonna be on this back panel of the top. So I'm gonna cut through here. I love this type of freestyle sewing and hacking. It's just the best thing. It's just so much fun. So here's gonna be my pocket piece. I'm just gonna straighten out the top because it's a little bit wonky. I'm gonna take a pen and just mark that this is the top. Just gonna put a little arrow like that so that I know that this goes on the top and that goes on the bottom. This is slightly narrower than the bottom bit. It's not a rectangle. So what I'm basically going to do here is so easy. I'm going to take this top part, just fold it back and top stitch it so that I have the entrance to the pocket. And then I'm going to place this right there, baste it, and then re-sew these panels back the way they were. Re-hem this bit, and then I'm going to have a pocket right there. I folded the top part of my little pocket and I'm just top stitching it. I'm using a double needle here, just because it's going to be a nice look. This is a visible area of my tankini, so I don't want to use that ugly zigzag stitch I used with the shorts. This is neat. It's going to allow stretch as well. I've brought my tankini back. This is the panel that's flapping around on its own. So now I'm going to place my pocket right here. You can see it's going to be big enough to hold my phone. I think I could even squeeze it down this way horizontally and it'll be a really snug fit at the bottom. So all I'm going to do now is give it a quick hand baste here. Just big, huge stitches, and then realign these seams and sew them. This literally took 1 minute to hand baste them. I did it quite far away from the edge, so I'm not going to catch that with the serger. And now I'm just going to align this again as it was originally here, and on the other side, get the seam sewn, and then re-hem this little bit that I undid. So easy. It's so easy. I don't regret doing this. I think it's worth it to have this beautiful pocket on the back. Well, I mean, it's not beautiful. You can barely see it, but it's beautiful in the sense of being practical. There, I've got both seams sewn from the back. We're going to have this pocket on the back. So good. And now I'm just going to re-hem this little section. I'm going to do it with the double needle as well. And that's it. So ta-da, that is the back of the tankini. You can barely see it because the fabric disguises it, but here is the pocket opening. It's tucked into these seams right there and it's perfect. It fits whatever I want to carry there on the back. And it's because it's in my lower back area, my bottom is actually coming out here. So anything I put is really well supported. You know, I bounced around a little bit. It's not going to move. You know, this type of pocket only works with fitted clothing. It doesn't work with something loose. And if you use a lightweight knit, you know, it has to have, this is a garment that sits firm on the body. And that's why I want to do a pocket there. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. It would make your whole garment sag. So I'm not saying add this type of pocket to any top. It has to be something fitted with a really heavy athletic knit, and it's going to hold its shape and it's going to hold what you want there nice and firm against you. So this is amazing. It's just so great. I like this top so much. Now that I have the pocket, it just solves a problem of where do I put my phone and my things when I go out. So let's see how this works and how this looks. I'd be happy to wear this casually, you know, just to go out with a really nice pair of pants, or sporty-ish. It's going to work for whatever because I think the fabric allows it. It's not like activewear in your face. So I'm so happy. This is the Clearwater tankini that matches the little running skirt that you just saw. Wearing them together I think could be a bit much, and I've done one little modification to this one, just a tiny change that makes it so much more functional. Let me show you what I've done to the back panel that has a lot to do with this little gadget. So we have princess seams here. There is a shelf bra on the inside. Mine is double with power mesh. I think the bra inside is supportive enough for cycling, working out at the gym, walking fast, But for running, I don't feel supported enough. I need something heavy duty for that. But I think this pocket that I added into this back panel is going to be so practical. Look, it just holds my phone perfectly. And then whatever I go out to do, I'm going to be comfortable, and this is going to be safely hidden away in there. I can put it sideways as well, and then it's even more snug towards the bottom of the pocket. If you carry something right here where your lumbar section is, you don't even feel that it's there. It's really, really secure. So I think it was worth unstitching and creating this little panel and the little pocket here. So nice for cycling, for walking, for working out at the gym, whatever. You can put so many things in here. So good. Check out the light sweetheart shape. It's all stable with clear elastic on the inside. Nothing gapes. It's all very nice. My fabric on the inside is black for the shelf bra. And as I said, you know, running, high bounce, yeah, it's not enough. I need much more for running, at least for myself. For many other activities that are just moderate impact, this is perfectly fine. So if you like to carry things around and stash things, adding this little pocket is a great idea. And you saw how easy it was. I'm so happy with this, and that I actually modified it. I had the idea and I'd wanted to do this for such a long time. I'm happy. Here is my Clearwater tankini worn casually. I would be happy to go shopping in this one, to spend the whole day out somewhere. Super comfortable. The shelf bra is enough for that. I think it looks really cool. The fabric is really firm. It's got a print that doesn't scream activewear. It goes perfectly over my summer key pants in green with these green sneakers, showing my ankles a little bit on the front. I think it's really cool. And this is a great way you can make your tankinis be not so sporty if you choose a certain print that doesn't scream that. You want fabric that's matte. That's the key. This shelf bra is so comfortable, so much more comfortable than wearing a regular bra. I'm a happy one. You see that I've paired it with my green summer key pants. It's one of my favorite pants. So nice. Also included in this collection. Also heavily discounted. And I love that tulip detail. So nice. Now, right now, these are the only ones that work for me. I've made other versions in the years before that are not fitting me right now. So it's just harder to make them work after you've lost some weight. And I've been working on that for so long. So I can't wear those other ones that I've made right now. So I'm really enjoying the green ones. Those are the oldest ones and I'm just loving them. They're just so pretty. Another thing I want to show you, and it's on my cutting table. I'm going to put the camera over there actually. It's too many pieces to bring. I'm almost done making these sets for my nieces. I'm going to be going to Chile soon for a little bit and I'm going to take it to them so they can wear it, you know, at the end of the year in the summer. And so I'm making the three of them, the shorties and the tankini. I believe I've got sizes 5, 7, and for my older niece, I had to mix the shorties and make extra small for women. And the top is actually using a girl size 14, I believe. So just let me show you the fabrics. You know, all I've got left for most of them is just the binding and the hems. For my older niece, I've got to finish turning everything right sides out because of the lining, and I am doing a shelf bra for her because she's 12. For my little tiny nieces, I'm not doing shelf bras or anything for them. They do not need it right now. I'm just going to bind the armholes and the neckline. But let me show you the cute fabrics. Check out these cute little Clearwater swim sets I'm making for my nieces. This is for my smaller niece, my middle niece, and my older niece. These are the matching ones. I have a Clearwater dress in the same fabric, just a different colorway in blue. It's quite heavy structured, great recovery, great for swim. It's matte, which I love, and I know they're gonna really like the pink. It's got the same little sweetheart detail there. I'm not doing the shelf bras for them, they don't need that. So I'm just gonna finish all of this with binding. I don't have any of this left at all, so I'm gonna have to choose either pink or white to do the binding. I think pink. I'm sure I have some athletic knit in pink. I need to hem them, bind them. Little shorties here, super cute. And for my older niece, I have this different fabric. For this one, I am doing the shelf bra. I have already done the neckline, but I have to do the armholes. And I have to finish this inside here with the elastic. It's the same technique that I'm using that I used for mine. There's nothing different. I think they're going to look super cute and they're going to feel super comfortable, covered up. You know, they don't have to worry about anything and they can just jump around in the water. I can't wait to finish these. I've been working on them for a while. I think the fabrics are super cute. The two little ones are going to love matching each other. They still love that. They're very little. My older niece she's going into teenage years. I made her a totally separate, different color and everything. I know she's gonna like it too. So I hope this gave you some more ideas for the Clearwater, although, I mean, the value in the pattern is already there with so many options and so many patterns. But you can add more things. You can make a little skirt if you have a A-line skirt shape that you can add on. Summer Basics is perfect. And then add a pocket to your tankini. Yeah, it's amazing. I love how this turned out, and I'm so happy that I can make things that are going to be super useful for my daily life. I'm living a pretty active life every single day, and so having cute stuff to wear that I made is just the best thing. That's it for me. I'm going to see you back here very soon. See you then. Bye.